everybody. This week we read The Art Lesson by Tomie dePaola, and we did some wondering. Now, the reason we use wondering when we read is because it is a great comprehension strategy. So remember, when we wonder, we think about what questions we have about the book. The book, The Art Lesson, is an informational book that is told through a story. And we also listened to a biography about Tomie dePaola that taught us more about his life. And we spent some more time wondering, thinking about our questions during the story. Today, I'm going to show you how I want you to do wondering when you are reading to yourself. Today, you're going to spend some time reading a book that you choose for yourself. You're going to spend some time noticing what you wonder about, what questions you have while you're reading, and you're going to take some notes on a sticky note and write down your I wonder statements. I'm going to take a few minutes to show you how I would do that if I'm reading a book on my own. The book that I wanted to share with you today is called Dreamers, and the author is Yuyi Morales. So what I want you to really pay attention to is while I'm reading, how I notice what my own questions are and how I'm going to jot down those questions, because that's what you're going to do today when you choose a book. Dreamers. I dreamed of you, then you appeared. Together we became amour, love, amour, resplendent life, you and I. So right away, I'm wondering, what does that mean? I dreamed of you and you appeared. One day we bundled gifts in our backpack. We crossed a bridge outstretched like the universe. And when we made it to the other side, thirsty, in awe, unable to go back, we became immigrants. Immigrants are people that travel to a new place to live from somewhere else. I'm already noticing something in my own head. I am wondering, I have a question. They said, and when we made it to the other side, I'm wondering what they had to get to the other side of. Is this water? Is it fog? What did they have to cross? So if I was reading, I would stop and I would take out my Post-it note and I would jot down my question. I would write, what did they have to cross? Migrantes, you and I. The sky and the land welcomed us in words unlike those of our ancestors. Words unlike those of our ancestors. Does that mean they're speaking a different language here? There were so many things we didn't know, unable to understand and afraid to speak. We made lots of mistakes. I'm wondering, again, I'm noticing that I have questions. I'm wondering, what kind of mistakes did they make? The picture shows the lady looks like she's giving her baby a bath in some sort of fountain. Did she think that was a tub? So again, I would stop. I have my Post-it note and I would write down my question or my wondering. I wonder why they were afraid. I wonder what kind of mistakes they made. So I have two questions that I wondered about so far. You and I became caminantes. Thousands and thousands of steps we took across this land until one day we found a place we'd never seen before. Suspicious, improbable, unbelievable, surprising. Again, I'm going to stop because I realized I'm thinking of a question in my own head. I'm wondering, what was it that they didn't expect? Had they never seen a library before? So I'm going to take a minute. I write down my question on my Post-it note and then I continue. Unimaginable, Where we didn't need to speak, we only needed to trust. And we did. Books became our language. Books became our home. Books became our lives. We learned to read, to speak, to write, and to make our voices heard. Again, I'm noticing I have a question. When they say they learned to speak and write and make our voices heard, does that mean that they had to learn a new language? They didn't originally speak the language? So I would write down, I wonder, on my Post-it note. Someday we will become something we haven't even yet imagined. But right now, we are stories, we are two languages. We are Luca, we are resilience, we are hope, we are dreamers, soñadores of the world. We are love. The end. So what I did when I read this book, was I stopped and I noticed when I had a question, right? We kind of have two things going on in our brain when we're reading. The first one is all the reading that we're doing, thinking about the actual words. But the second is actually thinking about what's happening in the story, noticing the questions we have. So your job today is to choose a book that you would like to read, either a book that you have at home or a book from Epic. It can be one of the Tomie dePaola books if you would like. And you are going to read. But as you're reading to yourself, you're going to also be noticing what thoughts are you having about the book and what questions or what are you wondering. And I want you to write down on a Post-it note if you have one, or just on a piece of paper. You're going to write down what page, and you're going to write down what was happening in the book at that time, and you're going to write down what you wondered about. Follow the assignment as it's written in your plan for the week. And I will see you on Thursday to share these ideas.